Welcome to the Star Wars Fandolorians podcast, where every week we talk about the latest trends in Star Wars, newest episodes and movies and all that kind of stuff. We love to rip on each other a little bit and talk about vintage Star Wars toys and adventures of days gone by. So, with all that said, here are your hosts, us, Kevin and Craig.
Hello and welcome to the Fandolorians. I'm Craig and this is my friend Kevin. And we're here this episode 2 to talk about the possible future of Star Wars. And there's a lot of speculation going on, but we're trying to shift through all the information we can find to bring you what we think and what was the possibility for the future of Star Wars.
Yeah. I Craig was doing a little bit of research, I think, earlier, and ironically at the same time I was kind of watching some speculation videos about where things might go, and I don't know.
So we were talking a little bit before about Kathleen Kennedy, and I don't know if you know this, but she does not have the creative control over Star Wars any longer.
I didn't know that she didn't have the creative control over it, actually. I heard she was working on other projects, so
they probably gave her other things to do,
and that's a good thing.
After what happened, I guess. I mean,
listen. I've said
after
this
what happened behind you there.
We're not even gonna. This mess back here was created by Kathleen Kennedy. I just want to preface this entire freaking episode with that right now. Secondly, and more importantly, Kathleen Kennedy, in my opinion, was on a surge to ruin my childhood, our childhood, and I'm glad they pulled her off anything to do with Star Wars. The tip off for anybody who wasn't fully aware, if you were watching these newer movies, in my opinion, was Floating Space Leia. As soon as we had Floating Space Leia, that should have been a sign that she needed to go. If you didn't have signs before that, that should have been like, okay, bye-bye.
I physically tensed up and just cringed so hard in the theater when I saw that. I was just like,
it's a good thing. It's a good thing that you and I live as far apart as we do, because if you and I had been in the same theater, we would have burned that building to the ground after watching that scene. That was awful. That was awful. It was so bad.
But now Bob Chapek and Igor have taken control again, I guess.
Now I'm going to say this. I'm a little known fact. Mm-hmm. I'm a Disney fanatic too, so I'm not just a Star Wars fanatic.
In fact, where are you going soon?
I'm actually the reason that we're filming this when we are is because I'm leaving to go to Disney for 6 nights tomorrow. Well, day after tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But so Chapek, I have a lot of problems with Chapek. And I'm not going to get into all of them here, but basically they've got him in charge of the parks now, and that ironically happened right before COVID. Just some crazy stuff. But I wouldn't he's a money guy. He's going to reel in and he's going to shave off as much as he can to save money. That's what he's all about. That's what he's always been about.
Yeah.
So coming from a CFO standpoint, which he's very good at that. That's great, but that's not who we need in charge of Disney parks and all of that. We need somebody who's willing to spend a little money.
Right. We don't need someone that's going to cut out a whole bunch of stuff.
Not when the Mandalorian itself is like what, $7 to $10 million an episode or something. This is crazy money, which you have to do with Star Wars. You can't cheap out. We've seen it. We know.
No, you don't want to cut any corners. Really, it's not good.
The prequels taught us anything. They certainly taught us that.
But yeah, so that's why we're pretty much we're not doing the review of the Mandalorian this week, but we'll return next week to review the last the two that we missed. So we'll get caught up with that. That'll be good.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I guess we can. Where's Star Wars going from here? There's talk of the next trilogy that will probably not be out till 2023. And it's called, I guess it's right now it's being called The High Republic. Have you heard about that at all?
I'm kind of learning as I go here a little bit with some of this,
same.
because I've heard nothing but speculation for the most
There's
part.
a lot of speculation, but you try to weed through that and you see what they're doing, what actors they're bringing in, what they're filming at the time, and that people are able to maybe put some things together. Sometimes they're still wrong. Who knows? But it's fun to speculate and try to figure out what's going on.
One of the things that you and I were kind of talking about a few minutes ago is the fact that so Boba Fett historically is one badass. He's like a gun for hire, right? So what I have a problem with is that they're bringing him into the Mandalorian, which I think is a good thing because you're going to have that good bad dynamic. But I wonder where they're going to go with the storyline. And you and I we were just talking about this before we started this. Like, we never want to get too deep into it without getting into the podcast, because then we're like, oh, we're going to take away from the whole conversation. Save it.
Yeah.
So I just wonder where they're going to go with the rest of this season, moving into season 3.
Well, he's almost definitely he's got to get his armor back. So, of course, that's going to lead to some kind of confrontation with the Mandalorian.
But see, I question now. The only so I got to preface this by saying that we have been privy to some information that, according to Deadline, which is like the place where all the stars go for their industry news, deadline.com or whatever it is, there was an article on there about the Mandalorian potentially going into not just a season 3, but then having a spin-off of a Boba Fett, mini-series or not a mini-series, but having its own show.
Later this month, it's supposed to start.
Oh, so you know more than I do on that.
Well,
okay.
It's supposed to start filming this month, yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's
what I've heard.
That's cool. So, but that does, if it's going to be a true spin-off of The Mandalorian, then it does get me thinking along the lines of what we just saw, which is, that possibly they're gonna have him play in with Baby Yoda and kidnap Baby Yoda, and I don't know. I don't know. I mean, there's a whole lot of conjecture there that I can't.
Yeah,
I don't know where it's gonna go.
He could quite possibly have go after Baby Yoda, because Baby Yoda, I think, still has a bounty as far as I know.
Well, and even if he didn't, Gideon's gonna.
Gideon already. Yeah,
he said, he's gonna do whatever he has to do to get that kid.
Right. So possibly Boba Fett kidnaps Baby Yoda and brings him to Moff Gideon.
I don't know. I mean that is
that's all we can really do at this point with that is speculate on that.
Right. So but you could maybe you could tell us a little bit, because I think you have a firmer grasp on what's coming and is definitely coming down the pike.
Well, yeah. Well, like I just said about the filming of the Boba Fett series,
right?
The new show. I don't know if that's necessarily a spinoff per se of the Mandalorian. It might just be like, pretty much Boba Fett's own thing. And the speculation that he could have a daughter, because
really
have a daughter, and she could be in later movies or episodes of something else further down the line after Boba Fett's too old or is dead.
Wow.
She could take over.
You're throwing me for a loop here.
Well, in the expanded universe, he had a daughter. Also, I don't know if you knew this, but fun fact, I found this out.
He is, by the way, people, Craig is filled with fun facts. He's got more fun Star Wars fun facts than anyone I've ever met in my life. It's absolutely amazing. But he also can beat anyone's ass at Star Wars trivia. And
no, don't say
that. He's modest. He's modest.
Hey, you're ahead. You're ahead in our trivia game here.
By a point.
1 point. What's 1-0?
Yeah, yeah.
I get to hear that beautiful buzzer. But anyways, what I'm saying here is, yeah, another thing with Boba Fett is in the expanded universe. Now, this is all non-canon now, probably, but in the expanded universe, he wasn't a Mandalorian like you were saying, but he actually was adopted into the Mandalorian culture, and he became the leader of the whole Mandalorian society.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's probably not going to happen in the series. I would. You never know, but
there's that. I nothing would surprise me, I guess, as far as that is concerned, because the feasibility of that seems very feasible. It's like kind of off topic, but like this whole Top Gun movie that's coming out this year or next year, they're talking about is it his daughter? Is it his son? Is it, and apparently it's going to be Goose's son or something like that, he's training. So, you know what I mean? Like nothing surprises me anymore. They got to do what they got to do to keep the storyline going. And that's what they'll do. So, yeah, I understand there's going to be an Ahsoka show. I saw it. I struggle with that because of how they left her character off. Like do, I mean, great, but
yeah, supposedly she's going to be in the Mandalorian from what they're saying. If I understand that right, Ahsoka's going to be in the Mandalorian.
I don't know.
We'll have to see.
I'm with the Mandalorian. I feel like they could pull any punch they want and get away with it. They could totally get away with it, because even the Mandalorian is in my opinion is the only way that they're going to reel back in some of the real Star Wars fans. It's the only shot they have, because as much as I like going to Disney World and all that, I do not like what they did, what Kathleen Kennedy in specific did to the movies of my childhood, and a lot of even Disney fans and Star Wars feel that same way. Because listen, if you're over the age of what, 35, 30, I mean, well, no, maybe not that, but 30, if you're over the age of 35, you probably have a pretty good grasp on what Star Wars used to be. And now you're seeing the stuff that they're putting out now, and it's like, nah.
Yeah.
Nah, I mean, to me, and this is, I'm sure not everybody feels this way. And in fact, we know that not everybody feels this way, but I really feel like they disenfranchised a lot of people when they came out with the new movies, the last trilogy. Now, if they can come out with another trilogy, as I've mentioned in the last episode, and bring in Favreau to do his job, then we might be okay.
That would be nice. It would be nice. But
from what
I've heard so far, and it's supposed to be called, the new trilogy is supposed to be called The High Republic, and it takes place 400 years before the original trilogy. So, and we're supposed to get a look at the Sith homeworld and the Sith culture, which would be interesting. And who knows, maybe Yoda, Yoda was 900 something years old. So
I don't see any reason why we can't have some more Yoda.
Exactly. It's always good to have more Yoda.
More Yoda you need.
Let's not do that again, shall we?
Oh God. But there's a lot of good things coming down the pike either way with the Mandalorian, and I think maybe even with any other series that they might do, as long as they don't get the wrong hands involved. I'm very concerned about that trilogy, the upcoming trilogy, though, from a director standpoint. As I said, that to me, what have you heard in the way of directors or producers or anything like that?
I heard some disturbing news that Rian Johnson.
Oh no! Oh no!
Sorry to have to invoke that name, but I heard that he's actually working on a trilogy, and hopefully that won't see the light of day but I heard he wants to do a trilogy, and there was speculation that it was canceled, and then oh no. Hey, you can't hear me. Hey.
I told you never to say that name again.
Okay, all right.
And here's the thing. But let me tell the
RJ.
audience. Let me tell the audience why I believe that his name should never be spoken in succession with a Star Wars movie ever again. And there's a couple of reasons. One of them, floating space Leia again. Two, invincible Luke, who never is going to ever die.
Hey, you lost me there. You lost me there a second. What do you mean invincible Luke?
Oh, you and I haven't had this conversation?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, so invincible Luke. the whole holographic Luke that comes back to fight against Kylo Ren is absolute horse rubbish. That has no standing in any Jedi lore anywhere.
Yeah, but
that has ever been referenced.
You said invincible Luke. That actually killed him.
No, but he comes back as a holograph and again and again.
Like a Force ghost. Like they all come back as Force ghosts.
Coming back as a Force ghost and coming back as a Force ghost that actually has influence on what is happening. Two different things.
Level of Force ghost, I guess.
You just can't sell me on it. But the biggest problem I have with Rian Johnson, and this is hands down my biggest problem, and I'm just going to leave the Rian Johnson thing alone, but this is my big thing with him. I remember before he got into the actual filming of these, I remember seeing an interview with him. I think it was on CBS on that Sunday morning show they have or something like that. And they brought him in and they took him to old filming locations from episode 4.
Oh,
and man, he was pulling on my youth heartstrings. Man, he was ripping me right up. He's like, yeah. And when I was a little boy, my dad took me to the place where Luke's home was. And seriously had me going, man, had me like, he might as well have said, I collected all these Star Wars cards when I was a kid and I kept them here. It just, and then his movies were just shit. So
they were
it would be like you or me. It would be like you or me who love Star Wars, the old Star Wars, the Star Wars that we grew up with, and then taking that and then going off to movie school or producer school, whatever the frig you call that, film school, and then making a piece of shit Star Wars movie. That would never happen. And that is what disturbed me the most about Rian Johnson's filmmaking, is that he said he was something that he clearly was not.
Yeah, that film was like a slap in the face to all the Star Wars fans, I thought. That's what it felt like.
Yep.
Like mocking the Star Wars fans, or just.
I'm sorry. Because I know we're talking about the future.
Yeah, we're supposed to talk about it.
But if we're saying that Rian Johnson has a part in that future, that's a scary future, my friend. You're looking at what we've got behind me is coming up ahead.
I don't know if he's going to have any hand in the High Republic. Let's hope not.
I hope the hell not.
That's
just bad.
Here's the thing. Now, so we're old school Star Wars fans, and we've seen that. It seems to me that every movie that comes out that doesn't give a nod, or every show or movie that comes out that doesn't give a nod back to the past, like you were saying with The Mandalorian and Tatooine, and we're seeing old things again, and it's exciting.
Yeah. Can
they make a Star Wars trilogy without doing that it will actually satisfy us? Or do they always have to have that element?
I'm going to tell you this. And this is another thing that I'm amped up about a little bit, because I don't know how this is going to play into what's coming with the shows and the movies and all of that. Mm-hmm. But I think I've mentioned this to you in the past too, in some of our conversations. I'm not happy with, boy, everybody's going to watch this or listen to this and go, Kevin's not happy in this episode. He's really pissed off. Yeah, well, there's a lot that I am pissed off about. I'm sorry. I'm not happy all the time. But one of those things, though, is that I see what they're doing with Disney parks. Okay, so for example, with Galaxy's Edge, and Galaxy's Edge is this new area in both Disneyland and Disney World. They spent a lot of money getting this crap put together, and it is crap in my opinion, because they have like 2 rides. They just have not poured the quality into it like they did, for example, with Pandora. What they did with in the parks with Pandora was amazing. It's amazing. It's very high quality, very detailed, all of that, and goes based on the movie. They didn't do any of that with Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. In fact, what they did was the opposite. They created a whole new planet called Batu that has never been in any Star Wars movie for even a split second. Not even so much as a cut scene. Okay. So what they did, in my opinion, was I felt very disenfranchised that they would do that as an old school Star Wars guy. I feel like, yeah, they're trying to move forward. They're trying to get the youth involved. But we got to have a bridge. We got to have a gap in the universe. It can't just go from, here to here, just with nothing in between, no backstory, no nothing. And they did the same thing in the newest trilogy too. And we talked about this briefly before. Rey and Finn, there's no backstory. So whatever they do moving forward, I hope there is at least a gap to get us to where they want to go. They've got, or no gap rather. They've got to give us a bridge to get there comfortably, instead of just going, okay, we're going to jump and say, you don't need to know how we got there. We're just going to jump all that stuff and get and take us there anyway.
Yeah.
Because I feel like in The Mandalorian, for example, they're giving us some of those bridges. Maybe not all of them, maybe not everything we want to know, but they're giving us enough to go, okay, in my mind, I can see how that could happen. I could see how this would end up this way. Just like with Boba Fett, how he got there. Like, I'm sure they're going to fill in more of those gaps. Favreau seems to do that pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, man. I get amped up about some of this stuff. I really do. I had higher hopes. Higher hopes. That's why.
I know. But yeah, I was there. They're also talking about bringing in A-list actors for the new trilogy. Established actors. I don't know. We had some established actors before in the past, but not. I think it's nice to have fresh faces, like for the most part. You know what I mean? Like you see those fresh faces and you're like, oh, here's a new person. But if you see an established actor, you're already like, oh, well, I know this actor from this film and this film.
It's kind of like Nick Nolte in episode 1, 2, 3 of Mandalorian last year.
I thought that was pretty good, though. I mean, there's exceptions like Samuel L. Jackson. Yeah. I thought I loved Mace Windu. I thought he was a gregreat character.
Yeah.
I
mean, like, I thought Nick Nolte did. I thought he played that role very well. I mean, I can't think of a bad example of this, I guess. So you have a valid point as far as I'm concerned.
I think it'll be okay to bring in some A-list actors, but don't overdo it.
Right.
Like, don't have some fresh faces. Don't have a whole squad of A-list actors coming in. Because I don't know. I think that would kind of ruin it for me. They're talking about Jennifer Lawrence from the Hunger Games being they're trying to get her as a major star in that High Republic trilogy, I guess.
I mean, and that's I think what we're all looking for again is just that same feel. We're all trying to find that same feel. And I got to be honest with you, the funny thing about it to me is that as I've been watching The Mandalorian, I get that gut feeling again, the same kind of gut feeling that I had when I watched the movies. Clearly it's different because it's kind of a spaghetti Western thing going on in the space, but it's different, but it's the same.
I also got that same feeling with Rogue One. That was also just nostalgic for me. I felt like I was a little kid again watching the original episodes.
Yeah,
it was great.
Yeah. Between that and then Solo, even Solo.
Yeah, Solo was good.
I mean, like I don't think they could have made Solo any better than they did. I don't. I think they really pulled that out a lot because I didn't have high expectations for that movie when I went in there, but This is kind of like a past, present, and future show here.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to rename it.
Yeah, I don't
have
know.
to rename the title here because it's going all over the place.
Yeah, but I mean, looking at the future, and I'll try to stay on point at this point. Looking at the future, I'd like to see a few more of these spinoffs. I know we said, you know, that we had heard about an Ahsoka spinoff. I know that I've heard rumors forever about an Obi-Wan, either an Obi-Wan spinoff or an Obi-Wan. Oh, no, it wouldn't be a spinoff, but like a series or an Obi-Wan movie. I've heard stories forever.
Titled Hello There.
Dude, you know, Boba Fett is Craig's favorite character, and I think my favorite character in all of the movies was Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan was great.
Well, see, it's funny because from the Rebellion side, I liked Obi-Wan, but I liked Han Solo. I mean, those two characters for some reason.
So many good characters.
Oh,
it's hard to pick one of them, you know.
But moving into the future, yeah, I'd like to see either a solo series or or an Obi-Wan series or an Obi-Wan movie, anything, you know, with those characters. I would love to see.
Oh yeah.
So,
well, we were talking about the High Republic, I guess, or we were trying to.
Yeah. Moving into the new trilogy. Yeah.
They're also talking about kind of doing what Marvel did. I don't know if that's such a good idea, but like, you know how Marvel just made all these movies, and they would make a movie about a character, and then they would combine them all as the Avengers in a one big movie, and it was like so exciting when the Avengers would come out with the movie. Yeah. After you saw all the spin-offs or all the single movies that culminated into that one big movie.
That would be awesome.
They're talking about doing that with Star Wars. That would be breaking tradition from the normal 3 trilogy movie set and everything, but I don't know if that's a bad thing. This might be good, you know.
It might work out well. It might work out well. I would be curious, like, you know, are you saying that you think they would do that with like Rey and Finn's character and bring them back in somehow?
No, I'm saying like moving forward, they're even gonna go into like the comics, and they're gonna do it all through all sorts of media, comics, the movies, books, and I guess it's supposed to all be canon and work together like what Marvel did, you know.
If they pull that off, that will be impressive.
That would be impressive.
That will really be impressive.
Not everybody reads the comics or goes, you know, most people.
I did when I was a kid.
Yeah, same.
But you know, I don't even think I read that many of them. Maybe 10, 15, something like that.
But I mean, they could use Disney Plus as a catalyst for
right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
They could have the shows leading up to the movies and have the characters from the shows in the big movie, that the culmination of it all. That would be great, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's something like that. They could really, you know, utilize Disney Plus this way.
Well, and I think that's I shouldn't say I think. I was reading something the other day where they were talking about the investment that Disney has in Disney Plus, and they were talking about the investment that Disney has in The Mandalorian. And the guy I was reading, man, I don't know, the guy who wrote the article, I think he was reading, I was reading, I'm like, this guy sounds a little bit jaded. You know, I don't know one way or the other, but he sounded like that he didn't think that The Mandalorian was going to make it. He didn't think The Mandalorian was going to go past season 2, and he thought Disney Plus was going to go down. And
wow.
He was very negative. And his reasoning behind it, he stated was that the watch time and the watch numbers for The Mandalorian were low, and the watch time and the watch numbers for Disney Plus were low. I have a hard time believing that, though, and I'll tell you why. Disney Plus, when they came out last year, they took on subscribers. Netflix lost a ton of subscribers. So that means to me that those people literally moved from Netflix to Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So I don't even know the numbers on it. I could Google it right now, but I'm pretty sure that they took a large swath of customers from Netflix just by coming into the market, especially at the price point they came in at. I mean, cripes, it was like $6 or $7 for a month. Where else are you going to find that kind of content, that amount of content? They've got a lot of content on there. All the Marvel movies, all the Star Wars movies, $6, $7 a month. You can't tell me that they're going to go under that quick. And it's Disney, they're going to ride that train until
I think they just need to come out with some more shows.
Yeah.
If they're going to really compete with Netflix, because Netflix has a lot of original shows.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's one thing that I think Disney Plus is lacking at the moment. I'm sure they'll fix that.
Yeah.
In the future.
Well, and they had said that supposedly it was going to be a tiered release of different Marvel movies and other things, So it just apparently is something that they're working on, I guess. I don't know.
So this leads me to my next thing is time travel. They're thinking about bringing time travel into Star Wars, which I have a huge problem with time travel in the movies and in fiction. I just think it's messy. It's hard for it to work. It's just, I don't like watching it.
They're talking about bringing that into the new movies?
Yeah, having time travel. And I think it's a disaster waiting to happen.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, Marvel did it and it wasn't horrible, but I still didn't care for it. What I hate about time travel is it cheapens the characters' lives to me. It makes it so you can go back and pretty much, you can pretty much fix anything, bring anybody back. The characters' lives now are cheap and meaningless because.
Well, what's next? I mean, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? Start implementing Marvel characters into Star Wars and vice versa? I mean, Jesus.
Oh, jeez.
This is look, if the space-time continuum is all jacked up, who knows what's coming?
Man, I would probably have to walk away if they started doing that.
Seriously.
I love Marvel. I love the Marvel characters and I love my Star Wars and you know that, but I really don't want your Reese's in my peanut butter here.
That's a statement for sure. I mean,
that's dating back. That's really aging me, but whatever.
That's true, man. Like I don't even know what to say about that, honestly, because I had not heard that. And you're gonna make me Google the crap out of that after we get off this podcast. Now,
actually, that statement doesn't make sense. Reese's and peanut butter go hand in hand, but you know what I meant. I think it was an old commercial.
I don't want your Reese's in my peanut butter.
It was an old commercial. It was an old commercial. You can Google it. It's probably still on YouTube or something.
Right. Yeah. I get what you were going for there. So I think at the end of the day, though, I would like to see a lot of things in these new movies. What I don't want to see, I don't care if they somehow try to implement Rey and Finn. I guess. I thought those characters could have been so much more. They could have developed them more in that trilogy. They could have done so much better in the trilogy that they had right in front of them. And so with all those gaps that we've got, they only have one choice, which is to make 3 more movies that fill in the gaps.
It just seemed like that was so wasted potential.
Yeah.
Like with Rey and the whole Rey heritage thing with like who are her parents and this and that. And then that just got destroyed.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, your parents are nobody and this and that. And it's like, well, what happened? Well, you were building up to this big thing. And then at the end, in the last movie, I guess Josh Whedon comes in. He has to clean up everything with a big mop and like try to fix all of the whole mess that was left for him.
Except he didn't.
He tried.
The problem lies in the image behind me.
Yes.
And you know what I'm saying.
It's very glaring and in my face.
That's why I put this in this background, because I wanted everyone here to understand. The Death Star blew up in Return of the Jedi. Mm-hmm. Am I wrong in that?
No, I I remember seeing
Anyone?
it. I remember
Anyone?
the
Bueller. No, I mean seriously, the Death Star was gone. Like it blew up.
Yeah.
This bridge sitting right behind me here would not even be there. I mean, just wouldn't be there.
No, there'd be nothing left.
You know, that to me, that is kind of like, like you said, it's the elephant in the room. It's glaring right in your face, and you and I didn't know about this, or didn't put. You know, we just for whatever reason didn't put it together until recently. But it's like,
I don't know.
How was Palpatine sitting on the Death Star that blew up? and everybody, all you heard was crickets, and we're like, I guess that's a valid point you have there, my friend. Yeah, so I don't know. I just hope that the future is brighter than the past.
Let's hope. Let's hope. For sure. Yeah.
I'd like to hear people's comments and thoughts on you know what the future is going to bring. If you're following us on YouTube, which you should be, but if you're following us on YouTube, just go to Fandolorians.com, which is FANDOLORIANS.com. And that will take you right to our YouTube channel. If you're not already on there, please get on there and like us, subscribe, and all that business. And definitely make some comments, because I'd like to hear what people think about the future of Star Wars, where it's going, and you know, I know for a fact that I have said things that are going to piss some people off, and I would love for you to comment down below and let me know how much I pissed you off.
I think you're going to get a bunch of flame for some of the things you said.
I'll take it all day long, because this has just been you know, years of these horrible movies that we've had to sit through, and we need real direction at this point. And that's what I have to say about that.
All right. So, do you want to move on to our trivia ending segment?
Yeah, hit me with your best shot.
Do you have one for me?
I am preparing that currently.
All right. I like a guy who's prepared like that. Who was Senator Palpatine's predecessor as Chancellor of the Galactic Senate? Now, you can opt for the multiple choice if you wish.
Give me a multiple choice, please.
Okay, so you want to go to the multiple choice?
Yeah.
A, was it Chancellor Kennedy? B, Chancellor Regis? C, Chancellor Valorum? Or D, Chancellor Zilthro?
C, final answer.
What was it?
C?
C, you got it right. Yes. He gets another point. Ding, 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 ding.
Oh, I'll take it.
Now you're up 2-0.
All right.
All right. What do you got for me?
So, I have got... Let's see. I can give you a choice here. I'm going to give you a choice.
Oh, that's nice of you.
Would you like...
Topics, eh?
No, I'm not even going to give you a choice.
What?
I'm just gonna hit you with one. I'm just gonna hit you with one, because this question is actually perfect, and I am gonna love watching your response.
Oh no.
So the Star Wars Holiday Special marked the first appearance of which Star Wars character?
Oh no.
Do you want a multiple choice on that? This is the first appearance of a Star Wars character. You want multiple choice?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah. I want to get that. I gotta get at least a point. I can't be behind 2-0 now.
All right. Jar Jar Binks, Jabba the Hutt, Lando Calrissian, Boba Fett. That's a tough one. I don't know that I would know this either. So
this is tough, because I really couldn't tell you exactly the date that the holiday special came out on.
I can tell you. I can give you a clue on that. I know that it came out very close to the release of episode 4. So, you've got Boba Fett, Lando Calrissian, Jabba the Hutt, or Jar Jar Binks. Now,
well, I don't even remember.
Misa thinks it's not Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not Jar Jar. I'm gonna just go with my favorite character, Boba Fett.
Ooh.
Let's hope he wasn't, though.
Did you hear that?
Well, did I get a correct response?
You sure did. Nice. You sure did. And I'll read you the response. The Star Wars Holiday Special, which aired on November 17th, 1978, I was not aware of that, marked the first appearance of the, and I think I know why that actually came out in November 17th, 1978, was because the movie actually wasn't released until after, or was it around Christmas? It was right around Christmas time, I think. And it was like people were anticipating the movie so much that they wanted something. And I think that's what it was.
And you know what, too? That makes sense because there were Boba Fett action figures for episode 4.
Oh, that's right.
But he wasn't really in the movie. They cut his scenes out of the movie.
Well, and so what it says here is it says the Star Wars Holiday Special aired November 17, 1978, marked the first appearance of the character Boba Fett in an animated segment of the show. And I do remember that now. Do you remember that? There was an animated segment of that show. It actually was the least corny part of the whole thing.
I try to block that thing out of my mind. I really do.
We just got him back from the hospital, folks. It was a rough haul.
Oh, God.
I shouldn't have brought this up. It said this special has never been released on video. However, bootleg home recorded videos have been circulating for years and they're now all over the internet. We're aware of this. That's how Craig ended up in the hospital. George Lucas once remarked at an Australian convention that if I had time, quote, and a sledgehammer, I would track down every bootleg copy of that program and smash it. End quote.
Nice.
Okay, so there you go. There's your vengeance, Craig.
All right, so it's 2-1 your lead. I can live with that for now.
Yeah. I mean, I really wasn't. I'm never really truly prepared, but I've been getting some good ones here. So I'll go with what I got.
All right.
I think that's pretty much it for this episode, right? I mean,
I think we've covered everything we're gonna on this.
Well, we covered a lot more than that because we did bounce around. But I mean, I guess there's only so much. We don't really know what the future holds for Star Wars, so
it's speculation. It is.
It's a lot of speculation, and God, if you want to spend hours on YouTube looking at speculation videos, go for it. They're all there.
It's out there. Yep.
Yeah. The truth isn't out there, but there's a lot of speculation, folks.
Some of it might be, but we'll know later.
Right.
All right.
Hey, thanks for joining us, guys. And on that note, we will chat with you next week, and I'll see you after I get back from Disney.
Yeah, get some pictures, will you?
I will.
You can get some pictures for us?
I'll try to get something I can throw in the back.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be awesome. All right. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye now.